Good morning, Fanatics, and welcome to Flow with the Markets, volume 203. Iliya here tuning in. We are around hour and a half into London Open, and I intentionally waited a little bit more so I can give you more clues about what is potentially going to happen. But as I said in the weekly outlook and setups, we're having a very busy week ahead of us. So pretty much my focus was to get something on Monday and Tuesday and then pretty much call it a week. I didn't manage to get anything yesterday because there was simply no setup. But this morning we smashed EU with the team. So I'm gonna show you the trade in a little bit. And of course, you know, this video, I just jump on the charts. There are no transitions. There is no timestamps. There is no nothing. So again, you gotta go through with me. So without further ado, let's actually roll the intro and we're gonna get started. Alright, we're gonna start with the DXY, but first of all, let's check out the economic calendar. So again, for today, we just had news like 30 minutes ago, which really boosted our trade in the proper direction, which aligned with the technicals. Later today, we have some consumer confidence that is important. We have some housing as well. So today, it looks like a quiet day, but from tomorrow, the interesting things are gonna start up with the Fed during the night. We have CPI for the Aussie during the morning. So again, watch out. And then on Thursday we have ECB, and then on Friday there was something else. So always make sure that you monitor your news. Okay, now let's have a look at what I forecasted on Saturday and let's see how the analysis is playing out so far. So we forecasted an overall long on the DXY, and that is because we are pulling back on the daily. We're about to fill in that imbalance. We're about to tap the 50%. So pretty much the current bias was longs. And again, one of the outcomes was to potentially just continue, just open and massively push into the highs. But the other one was to just give us like a pullback and then to potentially start pushing up, which is essentially what happened. You can see we opened and we kind of gave a pullback. And if you consider that last range, which is right there, right, we pulled back below the 50%, but we did it in a very fast manner. We just came in, whoop, spike below the 50%. And that same candle actually came on and made the new high. And right now we kind of have like a little bit of structure right there, although it's not entirely clean, but we also have this demand. So this is a demand that I wouldn't really trade from because I mean, it is kind of a valid high low formation, which sucks, but you can see how it broke. It broke with like a very tiny wick. There is no clear push. There is no imbalance. There is no strength. It's exiting the zone. So I wouldn't say that this is a very strong zone. But what I can say is that the Dixie is overall bullish. Okay, and right now potentially like, yeah, on the 15-minute, you can see the market actually pulled back, took out Asian low, and right now it is where, yeah, it just aligned bullish right there. That according to me is the valid lower high. It's not this, it's not this. Again, I have specific rules for that. And if you want to take a zone, then there is the zone. So pretty much the expectation right now would be to potentially push us into the highs. But there is a big however, right? There is a big however that there is not a lot of strength coming in from this zone. So it's very possible we come in to liquidate a low and then maybe pushes into the highs. Okay, and also what I just saw to the left is that we're having a very nice base supply right there, which is where the market is currently reacting from. Okay, so it's a little bit 50-50, but once again, if I just say like what I would expect to happen, well, I don't want to say I would really love to, because again, it's not about what I love and then about what I want to happen, but what actually happens is for the market to push, tap the 50%, fill in at least that imbalance, and then potentially start seeing the shorts. Okay, but of course, watch out for this. That is currently the structure. The hourly is bullish. That is the 50-minute time frame. So if I'm just looking at the charts right now, I would look for something like this, right, and then targeting this high. But of course, if the market then makes a trend change down, then that could mean that either the market is going to be grabbing more liquidity within this zone, because again, when this zone is not strong, the market will tend to consolidate in a weak zone, grab liquidity, and then potentially go. Okay, and then if it like breaks, then monitor to see if it's gonna offer like a new TC right there, and then if not, potentially the low is gonna get taken, and then we can look for something else at the bottom. But again, news are incoming, so I wouldn't really expect something much to happen because we can just chop around right there, and then the news are actually gonna drive the price where it should go. So once again, as I keep saying, don't force it, don't rush it, don't try to forecast too much, because tomorrow is gonna come and something completely kind of different is gonna happen to what we expected. So Euro USD, absolute perfect development. Like the only downside on this one is that we kind of came in and wicked above this high. Okay, but again, in hindsight, so what we do right now with the team is when we, so I released like 70 new lessons right now within the Fanatic program, and one of those is to pretty much I have specific rules to observe the breaks of structure, right? So that, according to our rules, was the valid lower high formation. The market broke down, and you can see on the open we kind of pulled back, and pretty much I was expecting this drop, and look at it, like perfectly to targets at the 50%, which is amazing. But again, you can see it came in and it wicked. But again, this is just looking at the candle, like, I mean, it wicked, and then the next like couple minutes or hours the market was already down. But again, even before this, we pretty much knew that this one is going to be a liquidity grab, just judging by the 15-minute as well. And then it just massively dropped, and it didn't really provide any entries yesterday. Like, you couldn't have caught this short if you like don't gamble, or maybe you don't trade like perceive this to be a liquidity grab and then you just go against it. Pretty much this is not what we do. We wait for the market to align, to really give us the signs that it wants to go down, and then we take a trade. Okay, so yesterday no trades, but again, we were expecting that the market for the market to pull back even deeper. We still have imbalance to fill. I did have another imbalance on mine, so that is probably a weekly imbalance that I have. So what I had on my chart as I'm doing my daily analysis was, first of all, this. That is the daily, and then what I did this morning is I took that daily one that is already fulfilled, and I drew, like, I just refined it to the 4 hourly, which is right there. So essentially this is what I will be looking right now to be filled, because that is precisely below the 50%, and the 50% just got tapped, and we're pretty much just filling in the high of that imbalance. So what we can start expecting right now is bullish euro. But the question is, are we gonna maybe push a little bit lower to maybe grab some liquidity right there, to maybe tap within this very big zone and then align from here? Or are we getting ready to go up right now? So again, that is gonna be clear tomorrow and on the ECB. So again, don't forecast too much and don't stress. There is a brand new structure break right there, which formed a brand new supply right here. So this morning we took shorts that were taken with a lot of confluences, again, tapping inside the 4 hourly zone, tapping inside the 50%. You can see we just kissed the 50%. We took out the Asian high, and the trade was taken on the 5-minute, exactly from right here. And I personally kept the bigger stop loss. The stop loss could have been here, but I decided to keep it bigger because we have rules as well for our Fanatic model too. If there are two highs very close to each other, you just place a safe stop loss, because oftentimes the market can just come in, liquidate those, and then drop. So my trade looked something like this. I had a 5.5 pip stop loss, so it looks something like that. I took 30% right there because that's what the rule says, and then the rest I took at the imbalance for around, I think around 4.6 R. So that's the trade, and pretty much that was also called here in the community. So there is my call right there before it happens. There is the entry, and of course there is the proof for the closure, and of course everything was shared within my morning analysis that I publish also every single morning. So very nice development for today. If I just go back to the chart, nope, that's my chart. Okay, there it is. So that's the EU trade. And again, as we just took out that 4 hourly low right now, and we're tapping inside imbalance, we could start expecting the potential longs. But once again, in order for me to take a long, as I'm going to show you later on GU, I need to see like a 4 hourly reversal. And in this case, the 4 hourly reversal is right there, because this broke structure, but according to me, this is not a valid lower high right now. So once again, give it some time. I do believe this move is over right now. Why? Well, because we took out massive liquidity. So if you try to like trend follow it, it's definitely possible if the market really has more steam to the downside. Because again, we have like that little imbalance right there in the 50-minute time frame. We're having a brand new 50-minute range right there. We're having a brand new 50-minute supply that I'm gonna draw like this. So again, that is definitely a continuation trade that we can look at. But again, my big question is, does EU have even more downside potential? Is it gonna come all the way down to fill in that 50%? Is it gonna push us even deeper on the daily? Is it gonna come all the way down? Or is this pullback right now enough? Because we're starting to get a lot of confluences for potential longs, and GU is already on the longs. Actually, GU is already kind of cooking for the longs. So that's my current EU outlook. Let's see how it goes, right? In terms of liquidity, it does not make a lot of sense for us to go short right now, because we pretty much fulfilled the target. We took out the low, we tapped into imbalance, we tapped into 50% on the daily. So again, if you try to take a short, you're going to be going against the liquidity. So I would much prefer right now to start seeing like the bullishness, eventually a hourly break of structure, trend change, and then potentially going up. So that's my EU right now, but personally, I will not be taking this short because I already did take a short, already happy with it. So again, right now, I perceive it not to be as high probability. Euro yen, where's my analysis? Oh, it's my internet probably, not loading. Come on. Ah. Okay, there it is, just loaded. So on Euro yen, okay, this one is playing out so far. So what I expected is for us to either make a high and then TC down and then potentially go down towards the demand. But no, this outlook actually played out. So going down, right now starting to consolidate and expecting longs. Now, this one is going to go long if EU also goes long. Imbalance is filled. We're tapping into the demand zone. It's looking perfect. However, when is it going to be ready to go short? Long, we don't know. It just came in and grabbed this liquidity right there, which is great. So if I jump on the 50-minute time frame, what we have to be looking for right now is for a 50-minute alignment. So the 50-minute high is here. So if you want to take a long on EJ, well, you either have to wait for a new lower high, lower low, and then to break that last lower high and then take a long from here, or from there, like break this, retest, and then continue going higher. Now, this one is going to work out if UJ like plays as it should play, and if EU right now goes long. Because if EU goes long, EJ is going to potentially follow up. So this analysis is playing out beautifully so far. Yesterday, you probably didn't catch this short. Maybe you did. But then you can see in this case, you have a break here, supply, beautiful short, break here, supply, beautiful short. You got 2 more shorts to be taken right there if you just simply follow 50-minute structure. Okay, that's slightly bit, no, it's not late. That's perfect timing. So again, 1 short, 2 shorts, go on your chart, examine how you could have taken them. And this is my outlook right now. I don't think shorts are very high probability right now because we're tapping into demand to fill an imbalance. We're below the 50%. We are in a forward demand zone. So just personally looking for the 50-minute to align bullish, and then I'm going to start looking for longs. But I personally don't trade JPYs. So AU. This imbalance probably on the daily, yeah, so filled in perfectly, daily imbalance, but it actually didn't on Friday. It's bullish on the daily leg. Well, yeah, it's pretty much bullish from here to here. So is it time that it actually starts to go up? Let's check out the hourly range. Well, yeah, the hourly range sucks because that's the high and that's the low, and this is just a supply in the middle. So yeah, if you're trading AU, I don't think it's a great pair right now in terms of the FOH. Like in terms of the FOH, I just don't like it, but we can see that there is a lot of bullish steam kicking in. And if we just jump on the 50-minute time frame, like a very trending Asian range right there. And right now it just keeps going up. Like it broke structure here, came back, retested demand, and is just giving a long setup right now. And it just took out the new high, right? Giving us a new demand. So yeah, you can continue trend following this, but again, keep in mind we're tapping into supply, but we're potentially traveling like towards the 50%, and if it's gonna tap the 50%, it's most likely gonna be taking this supply as well, which according to me is not like this supply zones I don't usually take that are in the middle, that are also not a valid range. So we have a proprietary concept that is called valid ranges that pretty much determines what is a valid lower high and what is a valid higher low. And usually if you have a valid lower high or higher low, you're going to have a valid supply or demand zone. So again, this one, not really. What I would expect to happen on AU, I really don't know, because we have news tomorrow on AU. I would personally just wait for this one to break out of this big range right there, because I do believe like the daily is still bullish, so we can take longs. But when the hourly time frame is bearish right now, trading between this high and this low, it's not going to be easy to take longs. The longs you can take are just intraday on the 50-minute time frame, but you also have to work with liquidity. So right now, does it make sense for us to go long? Not really. Why? Well, because we took out Asian high, we took out another high, and there is probably not enough steam for the market to continue pushing up. Okay, so always think in terms of that. We can potentially liquidate a little bit lower, and then if it gives you another TC, then you can start following it after the market has pulled back, taken some liquidity, and then you have fuel to fuel the market to go up. Okay, so that's AU. Again, to me, it's just confusing, so I wouldn't really look at it. AJ is, by the way, beautiful. I do believe this is one of the JPYs that was looking really good, and very happy that the long bias is playing out. One of my outlooks was just to push up, and one of my outlooks was to pull back down, take the liquidity, and then give us a long trade, which is just playing out perfectly. And there it is. Took out the hourly high. Beautiful, beautiful development. Like, the question is, could you have gotten into a long trade? Again, this is up to you. I mean, this is up to you and your trading strategy. I don't think you get a long here because it's so choppy. Then it went down, then it aligned bullish here. Yeah, I think a long would be tricky. Like, again, it really depends on your strategy, and just looking at it, for me and for my system, there wasn't really a long trade to be taken. Because here, like, we manipulated, I can't really take a long here as the 50-minute was bearish. Then when the 50-minute aligned, it just pumped. We can use our other model on the 5, so maybe on the 5 something happened right there. Yeah, tricky. I mean, this one is a very 50-50 trade. I'm really not sure if you could have gotten into that trade. The bias played out. So again, guys, if you didn't get it, if you didn't catch this move, not every move is to be caught. Like, I sent an email recently. I had some members from the community telling me like, oh, we didn't catch this move, like our strategy doesn't work. No, not every move is your move. Not every move is going to provide your setup. Somebody else is going to catch it. You're not going to catch it, but then the next trade you will catch and the other person will not. Okay, so shift your mindset. Now, right now we're breaking this 4-hourly high, so I have to remove a lot of stuff because we're breaking a new 4-hourly high. We have a brand new demand zone, we have a brand new range. So pretty much the process repeats. We took out the high. I would expect for the market to pull back 50%, same thing, 50-minute alignment, and then target the next liquidity point, which is here, and which is of course going to be also that high. So right now I would expect pullback. There is also imbalance about to be formed when this 4-hourly candle closes in 16 minutes. So it looks pretty good actually. So let's see, and GU is currently providing a short, but I would not take it because I'm already took a short on EU, but it could work out. I'm gonna show you the GU short in a bit. But yeah, so that is the AJ setup. Right now we'll look for a pullback and then potentially longs. Can it just continue to impulse into the highs? Absolutely. And then if it continues to impulse, what you just have to do is follow the 50-minute. So like break, retest, you just keep following it until you're wrong. Okay, so those are the AUDs. AU not very nice, AJ looks pretty good. NZD USD, my analysis is again disappearing. I have very slow internet, so let's wait for it. All right, there it is. So NZD USD also played out perfectly. So we were expecting for the market to take out this liquidity, and then one of the outcomes was for us to like pull back and go down. So I have a lot of outcomes on this. Okay, so one of them was to pull back lower high, lower low, and then trend change and then go long. So this one did not happen. The other one is to pull back and go short. This is still in play, and also this one is still in play. So we haven't really done much. I had too many drawings, so I didn't see clearly. We haven't done much because again, like this is the last breakdown. So that's our last lower high, and the market came in, reacted right now. So the question is, are we going to be making a new lower low right there, or are we going to be breaking and making a 4-hourly TC? So let's see if we drop to the 50-minute time frame. Right now, like yesterday, it nicely pushed up. You could have taken a couple of longs on in, so you can see how different like AU and NZD USD sometimes are. Right now, yeah, right now it's just choppy. So I really don't trade without the Asian session being taken out. So what I'm just gonna say is I'm gonna like give you like a potential setup. If the Asian high gets taken, and then if you have a 50-minute TC, then that could definitely be shorts because there is a lot of liquidity down there. Okay, and even if that hard time frame bias plays out, we can go all the way down to that 4-hourly lower low right there. Why will be? It's not very high probability though, because we are already below the 50% on the daily. We already feel the imbalance, and we already took structural liquidity on the 4H. So there are a lot of confluences for this market to go up. So again, don't be too greedy. Don't think that the market is gonna come all the way down. But in terms of intraday, that is definitely a setup that I would consider. Take out Asian high, and if it gives me a 50-minute trend change, only then I will short, because it can just continue up, higher high, higher low, higher high, and it can just easily break. Okay, so this is one of the outcomes, and then there is the other outcome, either short or continuation longs, because macro bias is telling us longs. And if we break above this 4-hourly high, then we can say with confidence that we can start going long. So wait for it. because it's always good to trade with confidence and when everything is aligned. And my internet is very slow. Oh, there it is. Loaded fast this time. So here on the daily, we have a push, we have a pullback, and the fall is still bearish. But I mean, just look at this. Like came in, reacted, came in, reacted, came in, reacted, and right now came in again. Took another high. And I mean, what the hell? What are you gonna do? So this one, I'm just not gonna look, guys, because once again, if the forward time frame just doesn't make sense, then just don't look at it. Because you can go on the 15-minute and you're going to be like up and down, up and down, up and down, chop, chop, up, down, and you're going to lose. So again, when the forward time frame doesn't make sense, just wait. What I would personally love to happen is for us to have like a forward reversal. So for the forward to break up and then align with this. Okay, no, we're actually bearish on this one. Yeah, so we push down, we pull back, so we're actually bearish. But again, like shorts, I just don't see the shorts. It's just coming in up and down, up and down, up and down. It's not clear. So as I keep saying, wait for it. Okay, and I mean, I can just jump on the 50-minute. It took out the Asian high. It actually aligned bearish right there. So you could be looking for a short trade, right? But just looking at how it usually goes, like it provides you a short stop loss, provides you a short. Here, there was a nice short yesterday right there, but then it just doesn't follow through to the downside. So again, be careful. Right now, we took massive liquidity. So this short is actually high probability. But again, just be mindful that this market is overall chopping. So there is a short, and of course, you can very easily target the Asian low. So this is what I would expect right now on NJ. UJ, will my analysis load immediately? Come on, man. Oh, there we go. So we are above the 50% and we are still bullish on the Forex. So we didn't take out the high to make a new higher high. So we straight pulled back down. We tapped the 50%, which is very, very nice. We filled in the imbalance. Yep, we perfectly kissed the 50% of the imbalance. So this one can be cooking for longs. Okay, so if UJ cooks for longs, then watch out all of your JPYs because they could also cook for longs. When it comes to the 50-minute, I mean, yesterday was just not tradable. I mean, you could have taken a short here because we technically broke structure down, and then this was supply, tapped in. Yeah, that was actually a nice short. And then we tapped in the imbalance, and look how we tapped the imbalance with this very huge candle. That was news. Retraced up, and right now we took out Asia high, and then we aligned bearish. Then we wick down, and then... So right now UJ is just tricky. You can see if I just don't see it immediately, I usually perform my analysis for like 10 seconds, but I talk a lot here and it takes me 30 minutes to analyze all the pairs. But yeah, I mean, this one is just not clear. So if I see something like this and it's not clear, I just dump it. Okay, like currently we can say that this is our major supply. It broke down, it pulls back, but it kind of fails to push down. It could definitely go, but you can see like you don't get a clear entry. So if I was to trade this, I would personally wait for one more tap inside and then potentially a 1-minute setup after, after it takes this as liquidity. And right now, if it just continues going lower, you can continue trend following it. But again, keep in mind, we could start cooking for longs because we fulfilled the imbalance. We're bullish below 50%. So I would say that the overall bias on this one is longs, but you just have to wait for a proper long, which is once again the 50-minute to align bullish, to get a clear 50-minute zone to actually trade with confidence. Because right now, if I was looking for this short to take it, I'm just not confident in it, so I don't take it. Okay, but of course, that's what I would expect right now on UJ. There is my outlook, so let's see how it goes. UCAD. Yeah, what I expect on UCAD usually doesn't happen. As I keep saying, this pair, I just don't like this pair, and I'm probably gonna stop breaking it down because again, I do everything with big pleasure, but when it comes to UCAD, I just don't like it. Like, look at that, fresh demand, it came in, broke it, right? And what it's doing right now, it's chopping around. So what do I expect? I just don't know, right? I don't know. It's getting into a range again. I don't know if we have news on the CAD. 50-minute time frame yesterday. Well, yesterday, maybe like on intraday, that could work nice because again, you just impulse lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right here, you take a short, fulfills, and then it comes in for a sweet liquidity grab right there doing New York Stock Exchange and New York Open. But then it just continues to go down. So if you have a good trend following strategy, I do believe like on the intraday time frames, this one could be good. Right now, it came in, it took out the previous daily low, it took out the Asian low, and it aligned bullish. So if you just base it on the intraday liquidity, then a long setup is making sense. So that's my setup on UCAD, and I just want to run away from this pair because again, in terms of macro, it just doesn't make sense. It's like going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. GU, so GU is really cooking for longs right now, and if my analysis develops right now, there it is. So we have low, high, 50%, all the imbalance is filled on the daily. So the daily time frame is perfectly starting to look for longs. We perfectly fulfilled what I forecasted right there. So we had a lower low. I did expect for us to make a new lower high and then a new lower low to tap us deep into the zone. This happened perfectly. It happened perfectly. There was a short yesterday, but unfortunately there was no entry. So right now what we did is we made a new break of structure lower. The market pulls back. It took out the low, but not in a valid range manner. So still my valid high is here. So what I'm just simply looking for right now is for this to break the high, pull back, and then long. So that is pretty much my outlook right now on GU. And yes, like right now it took out Asian high, it's aligning on the 5-minute, which is why I told you like it took liquidity to the left and it's potentially giving a short from here with a stop loss there, and then you can target Asian low. So that is a setup that I thought of taking, but I'm not gonna take. Why? Because I expect longs and it's not supporting my bias. So right now also, like, what is another bad thing about this is that we broke structure exactly here, and that is our zone, and we are still bullish. So we're still trading between this low and this high. We just pull back below the 50% and the market is usually expected to continue and break higher. And just because there is like a short on a lower time frame, that doesn't mean it's gonna go, but it could definitely go because there is a short with our Fanatic model too. So let's see how this one works out. I mean, it could definitely give a short because there is a lot of confidence right now for it to go down. So it can come down. I will observe it, how it reacts from this zone for Fanatic model 1, which is just simply a 15-minute continuation trade. But yeah, I would expect GU to overall go long because all the confluences right now are pointing to longs. Okay, like the daily time frame, the volatile time frame came in, grabbed a lot of liquidity. It's starting to show us a little bit of bullish signs, right? So what I just need to see is that volatile break, and then I'm just gonna start following volatile valid ranges, and then of course first liquidity point, second liquidity point, third one is gonna be here, imbalance, this one. So then we're gonna have a beautiful uptrend. So if this one works out, we're gonna have a very nice time longing this pair. Again, this could take a lot of time, and it's probably gonna take it, but once it happens, we're just gonna get into the zone and try to catch all of these longs. So right now, this is my outlook. Again, I would really consider longs from this zone right there. Let's see how it comes in. Let's see what kind of setup it forms, and let's just monitor like this sort of setup. But again, it doesn't even give me 2 hours towards that zone. So let's see. That is a potential setup you could also be looking for based on an entry model we have in the community. So let's see how it plays out. GJ, I don't like JPY, so let's see. So yeah, this one didn't make a high, so it's just straight pulled back to the downside, which is beautiful. Filled in all the imbalance, it's below the 50%, so analysis is playing out perfectly. There is the imbalance being filled, there is the 50%. So right now, once again, also on GJ, the bias is just makes sense to go long. Okay, filled in, aligned bullish, then broke up, and currently it's trading within this range right there because that is the last valid break right there. And yeah, it's just chopping around right now. So it took out Asian high, it tapped into the highs as well. There is a lot of flat lows right there. So what I would actually really love to happen, why I also think GU is gonna go short, is because they could grab some more liquidity, and then if it aligns from here, then that is gonna be really nice. Okay, so either long from there, which I don't think so because it doesn't have fuel, because I always think in liquidity nowadays. The market started very bullish. It took a lot of sell side liquidity. So does it have enough buy side fuel to push up? Not really. So usually it's going to come down, break this zone, break the Asian low, and then potentially push up. So that is overall my analysis on GJ. But again, the macro time frame says longs. So if you get any long idea in the future coming into this week, then definitely go for it. Gold, let's see gold. So gold kind of is playing out my 2 scenarios. I'm not sure. Let's see what's happening. So yeah, we actually broke down. Yeah, good. So this is one of the scenarios, to make a new lower low and then to be looking for a new break of the lower high, which is right there. There's a lower high. So yeah, simply break retest, this is what I would really like to see, because we broke down on the weekly outlook that gold is perfectly bullish, but it has like that little imbalance to fill right there, which is, what is it? Is it the hourly one? The weekly? Oh yeah, it's a weekly imbalance right there. So again, gold is a little bit 50-50. It's tapping inside this valid daily range, right? So it's tapping inside the daily. So if the hourly aligns, then that could mean we could go higher. But again, it really depends, guys, on the news. So wait for the Fed, wait for FOMC tomorrow night, and then we're gonna see, because it's very possible it goes long, but it's very possible it comes down to fill the imbalance, and then maybe it goes long from this zone right there, which is the weekly. So once again, I am not very confident to be throwing forecasts on gold, because again, yeah, based on intraday as well, it's very volatile, which is why I don't trade gold overall. But this is what I expect on gold to happen right now. It broke the low, so it either breaks the high and continues going higher, or it's probably just gonna, because currently you actually have a short trade, because the fall already broke down, so that's supply. So it is valid to be looking for shorts right now, if you also believe the market has more imbalance to be filling to the downside, and if you think that it's gonna go down. So what you have to simply wait for is for a 50-minute alignment. So the market took out the high, and then yeah, and then it aligned bearish right there, but then it broke down right there, and then it broke up right there. So not clear. Not clear. It could easily come and take out this high, and then maybe if it gives you another one, then go for the other one, because right now, according to my rules, this one is technically bullish. So let's see. But again, you guys know, if for the gold traders, you have your own system. So what I really want to focus on is the macro outlook, and I have two scenarios for it. US30, I'm not looking at indices right now too much, but they just keep pumping. So again, US30 just didn't give us much of a pullback. It just came in, broke structure into the highs, and right now we have a brand new demand zone right there. So again, what we have to be looking for is for a pullback, continuation higher. We have imbalance as well. So it all looks pretty good. We just gotta wait for the pullback. On the 50-minute today, for example, today, I will be looking for shorts to see if we get any shorts driving us into the lows. And then from there, I'm going to be looking for longs again. So again, on the intraday, I'm not going to be sharing any setups. NASDAQ, it's kind of tricky. It came and swept the low right there on Monday. And right now it looks like it wants to retrace higher. So I was expecting like a bigger push down or like a reversal up. None of it has happened yet. Although we have like something news that there was this kind of break, but again, this break is what we call kind of a shitty candle, because it kind of took out the low, it took out the high, and then it kind of closed in the middle. So it's very hard to spot like the valid market structure in this case. Not sure what to say about NASDAQ. It's in a very good positioning because it's below the 50% and it filled an imbalance. But again, in order for him to take longs with confidence, I would need to see this high broken, then retest it, and then potentially to go higher. Okay, so again, watch out. We had a short yesterday. This short was taken by a member of the community, this one, but then again, it started chopping around and not clear. So again, guys, especially for indices, wait for the Fed, wait for FOMC. S&P, so S&P broke down here, which means that this was supply, and you can see it actually aligns bullish right now. So there is a trend change to the upside, which means that there is a brand new demand, which how do I draw? It's going to look very big. So I'm going to draw something like that. There's not a lot of imbalance on the 4H. The only one I see is right there. So maybe this is something we could look to fill. There is one little tiny one right here as well. So again, let's see. There is actually another structure break right now, which is very tiny, and I don't like such structure breaks. So that could also be another demand zone, and then we can head forward liquidity target into the highs. So two outcomes. There it is. So either long from here, right? Or deeper pullback, or the market could just explode today. So let's see. I usually monitor this one at New York Stock Exchange because it usually tends to throw like a nice liquidity grab and then potentially to go with the overall macro direction. So if you get the macro direction right, you can very easily capitalize on a nice setup, which is what we do with Fanatic Model 3. So this is currently what I see on the S&P. Not very clear, and personally for indices, I'm just gonna wait until tomorrow. Bitcoin is initiating a pullback, a nice daily candle. Let's see if it gets to 27K. Ethereum, I don't care. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. I mean, DXY still has more upside potential to pull back to the 50% and to fill in the daily imbalance. So let's see how this one plays out. Let's see if it actually goes long from now, if it holds and continues to fill that imbalance. EU also does have a little bit more, but it tapped the 50%, it filled in weekly imbalance, it filled in daily imbalance. So again, we can start potentially expecting the longs. Okay, so looking for any sort of 15-minute bullish alignment tomorrow and on Thursday and on Friday will be potential long setup. Okay, EJ also, if EU follows through, EJ is potentially going to go up, and if UJ also goes up, you're going to have a very big long on the JPYs. AU is a pair that I don't suggest you trade because it's tricky. AJ longs after a pullback. NZD USD 50-50 because it's sitting in a very nice macro zone, but it's still bearish on the FOIC. So you either take a short right now, or wait for Asian high to be taken, or you just look for the longs. NJ, shitty pair. UJ, waiting for something. Hopefully longs. This is UCAT, nonsense. And GU, looking for GU, very interesting. Once this one aligns bullish on the FOIC, it's going to be really good. And as I told you right now, there is a short going on, looking to drive it into this zone. And then from there, we can be looking for a potential long. GJ also longs, but of course, let's see how it plays out. Possible for us to grab even more liquidity to the downside before the push up. Gold is a little bit uncertain because we don't know what's going to happen. So again, wait for the Fed, and pretty much that's it. And indices, also wait for the Fed. So guys, let me know how you're doing so far. Let me know how your week started. Let me know what are your favorite setups going forward. I wish you an incredible week going forward. I'm going to be without internet for a week and a half, so I'm not going to be very active with trading. But of course, I'm going to be publishing the weekly outlook and setups. So talk to you on Saturday. Take care and trade safe.